Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Today, we're gonna get a little spooked because we are playing Blair Witch. Um, I think I feel like every October there's usually like one big horror game. Big is relative, obviously, but there's a bigger horror game than usually any of the other indie stuff that's out there. I think this is it. I don't think this came out. This didn't come out in October, but they usually don't. Uh, but yeah, I don't think there's anything else that's big and notable other than that Man of Medan or whatever, Man of Medan. Uh, but either way, and I guess I usually end up playing the big horror game every year. Generally, just because I don't know. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why because I like horror as a genre so much, and I wish I liked horror games more. But of course, I am a pretty big fan of the Blair Witch Project, which is an old movie. You youngins might not have heard of it. It's an olden days movie from like 1998, I think. I probably should know that as a fan of the movie. Uh, Pretty sure it's like late 90s. Pretty sure. And I also like the recent Blair Witch film that came out in 2016. I think that one's all right. Not as good, not as unique, not as interesting, but a decent horror movie. And yeah, I like the whole mythos, I guess, that they have around the Blair Witch. It's it's a witch, but um, it's a lot crazier than that, with sort of temporal distortions, and this is a witch that can bend time and space within her woods, and all this sort of ritualistic stuff. Like it's cool. Um, of course, we're not going to talk about Book of Shadows, and I'm actually very curious to see if this game ever mentions Book. I don't think it would. This game takes place in 1996, which is prior to Blair Witch Project. It's prior to everything. So this is like the first in the franchise chronologically. So, this game has mixed reviews. Apparently there's like boring, repetitive gameplay, and the story is apparently not that stellar, but atmospherically it's supposed to be really good. And there's not a lot of combat, which for some is a negative. For me, that's a positive thing. If we're just wandering around, the Blair, the the wood, what are the name of the woods? It's like the Black Hills or something like that. Anyways, we should get into it. I got the lights off. I got headphones on. Maximum spook, and we're hit with this nice little intro screen. The future is not set in stone. Your humanity will be judged. You are being watched. Great. So I'm streaming this apparently. Well, I guess if we want to follow the actual directions, this would be the brightness level. Now we do have a ultra wide menu here, which is pretty nice. I assume the actual game is in ultra wide. Don't have HDR on. Unlimited. Yep. Subtitles sort of take you out of the experience immersively. But, I mean, immersion's just a fantasy anyways. Okay, I definitely don't have audio. So, let's get this fixed. Why would I not have audio? I don't think that... No. Okay, this is a bigger problem than that. Why would I not have audio? What would happen that would cut off audio? Audio. Okay. That's... Oh, there we go. We have audio. Let's start over. Oh, that's where I got confused. Okay. The movie Blair Witch Project did come out in 99, but it takes place in 94, which is what they just mentioned. So chronologically, this is the second. This is right after Blair Witch Project. A couple of years after the events of Blair Witch Project.
Hey, Alice.
Jess, hey. It's good to hear from you. I didn't think you'd call.
Yeah, well, neither did I, to be honest. Guess we're both full of surprises. So, what are you up to?
Did you hear about the missing kid? I'm joining the search.
Oh, wow. Okay. You think that's a good idea?
Why wouldn't it be?
You know why? You know what? Never mind. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't have called.
No, Jess, wait. No, I'm glad you did. Listen, I'm almost there. I'll call you later, okay?
All right. Just be careful.
Come on, Bullet. Let's see if we can find a way to contact Sheriff Lanning.
Okay.
It looks like they've started without us, huh? Okay, let's get moving.
Oh gosh, it's non-inverted. That's the scariest thing of all. All right, now we're okay.
Let's find this kid. He's been through enough already.
Anthony, if you stopped pissing your pants every time someone mentions the witch and decided to show up, check the trunk. There's a walkie-talkie in there for you. I'm also leaving you a photo of the kid we're looking for. Call Sheriff Lanning on Channel 2 once you're ready to join us. Right, there we go.
Sorry, Anthony. First come, first served. Yeah, I'll call Lanning once I'm in the forest.
Okay. Alright, so, a little backstory, I guess. If you've never seen the Blair Witch Project. Because I don't know if this game assumes you've seen it or not. Usually that would be a mistake. Synopsis. Peter Shannon was reported missing on 9/15/96. 14:35, the officer was notified of the disappearance of Peter Shannon by his mother, Laura Shannon. The initial investigating officer established the following. Peter was last seen heading to his friend's house around 11:20 a.m. on September 15, 1996. Mrs. Shannon has been unable to locate him ever since. He was reported missing the same day. For a while, like, you couldn't report someone missing for like a few days or something. They had to change the law. I don't know if that was just in a certain state or if that was nationwide, but they changed the law after, a kid got abducted and they couldn't report him missing for a while. So the law. Peter has a history of previous attempts to run away from home. There are no eyewitnesses to the moment of Peter's disappearance. The initial search yielded no results. Due to Shannon's age, the risk has been reassessed as high. In order to organize a search in Black Hills Forest, where the boy was found during one of his previous escapes, is given. Sheriff Emmett Lanning has been appointed the head of the operation. Signed, Oliver Mathewson. Okay. Okay, so Okay, yes. Alright. Want me to do it, I'll do it. Dog snack. Oh, wallet.
Hey, Jess, looking good. It's like she hasn't aged a day since then.
I'm an army veteran. Fortune. Something of value is lost. Fear not, for I see that there is still a chance to recover it, though your time is running thin. You must act now. Venture forth without fear, as Lady Luck smiles upon those brave of heart. Place trust in your friends, as they will come to your aid when most needed. My advice, watch your step. Your lucky numbers, 2 and 125.
That's something I brought back from our trip to Santa Monica. Can bring myself to throw it out.
Okay, then those numbers will probably become relevant at some point. Why can't you give... Oh, dogs. There we go.
Bullet.
There you go. Booby
Go,
snack.
boy. Enjoy.
Nice.
Oh, looks like they have the whole forest covered.
World's best sheriff. Okay. Oh, well, hold on. Age 9 years old, 4 feet 5, 4 inches, 68 pounds, and a green t-shirt, Baltimore, crow's cap. Okay.
You found something, buddy? We're not leaving that laying around, right, boy?
Okay. That could be useful. The Blair Witch. We've got Burkittsville. That's the nearby town.
What is this?
It's a real town. But the only thing they shot in Blair Witch Project at the town was like an opening shot in a graveyard. Everything else was shot in other places, a different forest and stuff. And they made up sort of a fictional history, I believe, for Burkittsville.
Come on, Bullet. Let's go find this kid.
So the town in the mythos, the town was originally known as Blair. That's where you get Blair Witch. There is a reason for that symbol, by the way. Get to. I'm doing an impromptu exploring video here. So
No point in waiting any longer. Let's call landing. Ellis to base. Did you copy?
Ellis, what are you doing out here?
Joining the search party.
Ellis, if you think you got some obligation to be here, you don't. I mean, I know it's his brother and all.
Sir, I'm here to help. That's all there is to it. Bullet's with me. If he catches the scent, he'll lead us straight to the kid.
You got a point there. You think you're up for it? Your, health issues, they're not gonna be a problem?
Sir, I'm not gonna screw this up. Not this time.
Well, all right then. Just stay in the rear. Make sure we haven't missed anything.
Roger that. Over and out. Well, time to get to work.
okay. So the Blair Witch was a woman named Ellie Kedward who was accused of practicing witchcraft by some people in the town. Kids, I think. It's very Salem-esque. And of course she was killed. And the way she was killed, I guess, I don't know if this is in the Curse of Blair Witch that they talked about this. Probably. They like hung her from a tree, and then they like hung rocks from her limbs so that it like stretched out her all of her arms and legs. And so I guess that's why that's the Blair Witch symbol that you see everywhere, is this sort of stretched out figure. And in the movie Blair Witch, they clung to that when they actually showed the Blair Witch. And they're like, oh, okay, she's got these long little spindly arms. This is Bullet, your right-hand dog. Listen to his barking and watch his body language. He'll be the first to alarm you of any trouble, but he'll need your help to deal with it. Remember, the way you treat him can affect his behavior later in the game. Wow, what the fuck? Stay close to him. Prolonged loneliness can affect your mental state. Jesus, that's for sure. If you lose sight of Bullet, press... Okay, look at him... Reprimand? Oh my god, why would you ever reprimand him? Okay, well... Seek.
Okay, seek. Yeah, lead on, buddy. We're looking for Peter, not the search party, buddy.
So... Yeah, so... Ellie Kedward executed for witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. And I guess they were pretty spot on, because she's certainly a witch.
We're taking a detour. Spencer thinks he saw something. Probably just a raccoon, but, yeah.
I told you it was not a raccoon.
Great, a bear then.
What is that? What am I going to do with that?
Chief, we're done checking the bridge.
Look at this phone. I guess it's 96.
You guys know these woods are cursed, right? You don't leave by nightfall, you might not leave at all.
Well, I did say I'd call.
Let's find that kid and get out of here. Now cut the chatter and focus on the search.
Yep, it was a raccoon.
Logging area is clear.
Hey, Jess, I got your message.
Hey, I'm glad you called. How's the search going?
Yeah, well, not much luck so far. But hey, you know, at least Bullet's happy we're out of the house. And, Jess,
Yeah?
I'm sorry about earlier. You know how important this is to me.
I know, just... Don't shut me out, Ellis. Believe it or not, I'm on your side. Always have been.
Yeah. Thanks, Jess.
And call me if things get rough, okay? I'll be here.
Will do. A photo? What the hell?
Standard. So, in the afterlife, the Blair Witch began haunting the Black Hills forest. This forest. And, God, I mean, this is just off the top of my head. I don't want to spout too many facts. Okay. Like, I think it was like every 60 years, I think is like the time frame that they created. It's like every 60 years, the Blair Witch comes back with a vengeance and actively seeks out people to kill. So, like, a long while back, there was some big massacre in the forest with, like, a bunch of loggers or something like that. There were no survivors. And then in, like, 1940...
Well, I guess you can consider it a clue in some case. It's not ours.
In 1940, this guy named Rustin Parr abducted 7 children and murdered all but one of them, I think. It was either he abducted 8 and killed 7, or abducted 7, killed 6. I think maybe he abducted 8. And he basically murdered them one by one in, like, the basement of this house in the forest. Jesus. By having them all, like, stand in a corner as he killed them one by one. You're standing on it. I can't.
The world's not your goddamn trash can.
Nice. And after he was arrested, they burned down the house. Or so the records show. The house, of course, is still definitely intact. And he just continued to claim that the witch made him do these things. The witch spoke in his head, and he was forced to commit these murders. Then, in 1994, apparently, 3 college students wanted to make a documentary about the Blair Witch. So they went to Burkittsville, interviewed the locals, and then headed into the forest, where they were never seen again. And that's the events of the Blair Witch Project. So, the Blair Witch Project itself, the film does not tell you an incredible amount. If you really want to learn about the mythos, you got to watch Curse of the Blair Witch. It's like an in-universe documentary. And then they really expanded on the mythos with Blair Witch in 2016. And the plot of Blair Witch was the main female from Blair Witch Project, her brother, years later, received like a videotape, apparently, of the house in this forest, and he thinks that his sister is on the videotape. So he gets some friends and rushes over here, and bad stuff happens. Now, of course, they've sort of broken away from this whole 60 years thing. And I think the implication, I guess, is that... Okay, actually, it's not even an implication. It's pretty much stated in Blair Witch that if you just enter the forest and just walk through it during the day, you're fine. Nothing's going to happen. You have to spend the night. You have to, like, camp out in the woods. If you spend one night there, you're fucked. You're never leaving. The Blair Witch traps you in, like, time and space, and you can't leave. So you have to spend a night. So that's why I'm sort of curious if they just ignored that for the plot of this, and just the kid entered the forest and he got screwed immediately, or if he did spend the night and now he's really screwed and they just didn't find him quick enough. Hard to say. The other big implication within the mythos is that the Blair Witch does not kill anyone herself because she's dead. So she haunts the forest, she can fuck with space and time, but she can't actually harm anyone. So what she does is just like mind controls people. She influences people's minds. So that's what she did with Rustin Parr. That's very much shown in Blair Witch in the new film, where a character specifically says, like...
Someone must really love nature.
A character, like, turns evil and says, you have to do what she tells you to. This is not really implied that much in the Blair Witch Project.
Go get it. What'd you find? Let me see. Yeah, good dog. Leave it, buddy. Now's not the time. Baltimore crows. That's Peter's cap. Good boy. We need to hurry. Can you follow the scent? Here, boy. See if you can find it. That's it. Take me to it. Ellis to base. I found Peter's cap.
You did? Well, great job, Ellis. Just stay where you are. We'll join up with you and keep searching from there.
Negative. Bullet picked up a scent. I'm not risking him losing it. I'll keep you posted. Over and out.
Well, that was a pretty lucky find, huh? So it's not explicitly shown in the Blair Witch Project that any of the characters have had their minds taken over. And I don't know.
Wait up. Shit. God damn it.
I want to finish my explanation. Obviously, the backstory that they created for Blair Witch Project showcases that the witch influences people's minds. They have Rustin Parr who murders these kids and says the witch made him do it. He had to do what she said. I mean, that's very clear cut. And so it's a little odd that they don't.
Where the hell is he?
That they sort of muddle it in the actual Blair Witch Project.
Not now.
Oh my god, I'm having a heart attack.
We've gotten this far. Not giving up now.
That sound. What is happening to me?
Calm down, Ellis. Everything's fine. It's all in your head.
Oh, I'm having fucking PTSD. I'm having Nam flashbacks. Shit.
Oh, well. Hey, look, you decided to show up. Don't leave me like this, okay, buddy? I can't be alone out here. What is it, boy? Did you find something? Ah, so we're still on Peter's trail. Good. Yeah, lead on, buddy.
I remember reading a fan theory. I don't know how popular it was or if anyone actually believed it, but I remember reading a fan theory about Blair Witch Project that...
Hey, Jess.
Ellis? Is everything alright? You don't sound so hot.
No, I'm fine. It's, under control.
It doesn't sound like it. Ellis, maybe you should...
No, I said I'm fine.
Yeah, of course you are.
Now listen, I think I saw something. I gotta go. I'll call you later. I'm sorry, Jess.
The fan theory was that there was nothing supernatural in the Blair Witch Project. It was just two guys that orchestrated this plan to murder this girl in the woods. This is in no way the case. There are plenty of supernatural things going on in Blair Witch Project. Very blatantly. But one of the characters in that film kicks their map into like a creek and doesn't tell them for like a day. So they lose their map, and they can't make it out. It's sort of odd. The actor was just given a note, because I mean the whole production was very sort of improv and unscripted and stuff like that. So he was just given a note at one point that he was supposed to be responsible for losing the map, and it was up to him, like on the spot, to sort of decide how he would lose the map. And so he decided as an actor to kick it into the creek. And when he did it, he thought that the other actors were watching him do it so that they would react. But they didn't notice, so he just like kept it hidden for a day. Which makes the whole thing seem much more duplicitous than his original intention.
There's still some leftovers inside. Maybe a few days old.
And so, you know, you could sort of see it as like, okay, the witch influenced his mind to do that.
It's damaged, but relatively new. Probably not something a 9-year-old could set up.
But I just couldn't say if it was like the director's intention for him to be controlled by the witch in that moment. Especially because he doesn't commit any murders.
Yeah, I think it still works.
Ellis, maybe you should...
No, I'm fine. I'll deal with it. I just need a little more time.
Ellis, what you need is help.
I could have managed.
Ellis, I can't do this anymore.
What? What is it this time? What, I wasn't smiling enough? Didn't say I love you for 5 fucking minutes?
Jesus Christ, Ellis. Do you even hear yourself?
Yeah, I can hear myself just fine. And I can see the way you look at me. Like I'm a fucking loser. You know, a sick little puppy for you to look after. Oh, why, Alice?
Get over yourself, Ellis. Be a man for once.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
There it is. I hope you can figure it out, Ellis. I hope you can finally forgive yourself. I tried to help you, but I just can't be around you anymore.
Go ahead. Get out. Leave me the fuck alone. Come on, be a man.
Ellis, you got my message.
You, wanted to see me, sir?
Better yet, I want to introduce you to someone. Bullet, meet your new partner. He's been through a lot, just like you.
What? Sir, I can't.
Oh, you got something else going on right now? Just take the damn dog, Ellis.
Yeah, yes, sir. Did I pass out? Boy? Oh, shit. It's pitch black. Oh, I must have blacked out for hours.
Oh no, this is spooky.
This thing again. Oh no, it's a different one. Oh, someone had too much time on their hands.
Okay, let me just stand here and finish my fucking explanation. Jesus. Not that any of you really care, but this is what I do. This is what I do, man. Please stop barking. There we go. So one of the characters kicks the map into the creek. And it's shown more in the film that he's just like losing his mind from their situation, because they're already like lost in the woods at this point. he's already basically given up hope. So it's not really clear evidence of any sort of supernatural influence. Another character goes missing later on. And they look everywhere for him, but they can't find him. They do find, a little later, like this little bag that has like some of his tongue in it or ear. I don't remember exactly. Like a little piece of body part. But he's never seen again. He's not in the film once he goes missing. But someone had to kill them. So it's possible that the implication is that he was somehow influenced and controlled by the witch in order to murder the other two at the end of the film. Because we don't ever see him in the house, but we hear his voice in the house. Now, Blair Witch 2016 showed that the Blair Witch can easily replicate anyone's voice and uses that to murderous intent. The problem with Blair Witch is that she does end up using one of the individuals as like a murderer. She controls one of the characters, but she also personally appears and seems to murder people. So that was my problem with Blair Witch, and that was a lot of people's problem with Blair Witch, is that the witch actually makes an appearance and is like a threat physically, which the beauty of Blair Witch Project is that it's also, unknown. It's possible that the Blair Witch has a physical presence. And at one point there's a strong implication that she or something is off screen. But anyways, the questions I have is basically how much does this game adhere to the expanded mythos in the 2016 Blair Witch? It changed and added a bunch of things. If this is just sticking to Blair Witch Project, obviously they're already going to break the 60-year thing, which is inevitable. Because they're not going to wait 60 years to make another Blair Witch thing. So they're already sort of breaking that. Questions that we're going to have are we going to actually see the Blair Witch? Is the disappearance of this boy the result of someone being influenced and physically carrying out the deed? And whether or not things are triggered by spending the night. Now, obviously, we just slept until nighttime, so we're sort of already fucked. I think we're pretty much fucked, which means everyone in this forest is probably fucked. The point is, I guess, and it's just sort of the mythology of Blair Witch, as established by the documentary and the Blair Witch Project, doesn't really lend itself well to a video game. Because there are no, like, other threats. There's no, like, monsters or anything that they have to fend off. It's all just a very almost psychological concept, a psychological fear, until the end when you're just murdered. So if they put in some sort of enemies, that's weird. And if you have the Blair Witch appear, that's also pretty lame, because it's like you're not going to kill the Blair Witch. Really, I don't know how the fuck we're even going to win. Like, we're just going to die at the end or something. I don't know. Anyways,
How did it end up back here? There's a tape inside. Might as well see what's on it.
Red tapes allow you to manipulate What the fuck? Where did that come from? Oh, damn it. I'm giving all this, like, detailed backstory and questions about how the game's going to interact with the mythos and stuff. And yeah, I get hit with the red tapes allow you to manipulate reality. Beautiful. Pay attention to the environment and objects both around you and in the video. Fast forward, rewind, and stop the video in the key moments to change their states and positions. What? What? Well, but how did... Oh.
The hell? This wasn't here a minute ago, right, buddy? This tape... Did it just... No, that's not possible. Get it together, Ellis. It's probably Peter's. Maybe Bullet can catch a scent. Come here, boy.
I mean, mechanically, that's interesting.
What to do, buddy? Just like in training. Good boy. Now, you do great on the force if you weren't so stubborn.
How the fuck are they gonna justify this ability? I don't know. We'll see about that. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but I guess that's my job. I guess we'll leave off the impromptu exploring video right here. I think next time we'll be able to just focus on the game and we'll get real spooked. It's gonna be a spooktacular in these dark woods, which may or may not contain an actual Blair Witch. But my name is Mangg. The game you're watching has been Blair Witch. See you fine folks in the next part.